Opa! Wagwan!
Hey guys!
Yes!
Welcome back to our vlog. So, Alex and I are currently walking up the hills of beautiful Jamaica. And we were thinking like, what should we do for our next vlog? And it just felt more natural to speak about what it's like being in an interracial relationship. The cons from our experiences.
So we're gonna see if we can find a place to sit and have a little deep talk.
Yeah.
I kind of feel this will be deep, guys, so get some water, whatever you need to just feel juiced up when you're watching this. And and yeah, let's just have a talk. We're gonna talk about how life is for us as a couple, the challenges that we face.
Yeah. So
both in Jamaica, where Kem Alex is from, and Sweden, where I'm from.
Yeah.
So we're gonna run off, find a good place to sit, and then we continue, alright?
See you there!
Yes.
I got something you can't explain. La 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 la. In a metaphysical kind of way. La 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 la. There's something magic inside my veins. La 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 la. No matter what, I'ma do my thing. I'ma do my thing. Can you feel it?
Hey guys.
Hey! So, we found a seat here up in the mountains.
Yes, we did.
We thought it was cozy, so we were just gonna sit here. And yeah, we're gonna tell you what it's like to be in an interracial relationship from our experience. Everyone's relationship is different, everyone's experiences are different, but this is our experience. So not everything that we say will be the same for you, okay? So we'll just share experiences with you, what we've noticed with Jamaica, Sweden, anywhere we've been to. Jamaica, Sweden, Spain, wherever we've been to. Tell you what it's like, what we've noticed, how it can be for us as an interracial couple.
Yeah, well, this is our story, so...
This is our story. So let's get right into it.
Alright, so I think the first topic, we're gonna call that the zoo. Because I think we both can agree that we are constantly, not constantly, but very often,
Most often,
observed in a way that you can feel like you're literally in a cage, in a zoo sometimes, because people can watch you with such an intensity in their eyes, or just intensity. And for whatever reason they are watching, we don't know. We can't always know.
We don't always
We
know.
just try to read on their faces and body language, but it can be a bit frustrating to just walk on the street and have people look at us as we're coming from another planet sometimes.
we're alien.
Or alien.
But I think it was more a struggle in the beginning for us.
Maybe we got used to it.
I think we got used
now,
to it a little by now. Yeah, people are gonna stare because in their eyes we're different from the normal, or from the vast majority. I am black, he's white. That's something you don't see a lot, depending on where you live.
But it's also important to actually pinpoint that it's not always bad stares.
It's not always bad stares.
It's just that, of course, the bad stares, we get them, they are worse than the good stares, but still, both the good and bad stares makes you feel that you're constantly observed. It can be a bit frustrating.
Yeah, it can. Sometimes people are driving past and when their eyes should be on the road, they're like watching us like, it's like, be careful you crash the car or something. But yeah, I think we've gotten a bit used to it. Well, that's one of the things we observe. For me in Sweden, the stairs are a bit more uncomfortable, I would say. Because as I mentioned in my first video, that Swedes are a bit more reserved. So it's not like in Jamaica where people express their thoughts. In Sweden you have to like question their look, like, because you don't get much from them. And it's always a bit awkward for me when I'm like in the subway or something and I'm standing in the train with Alex or even sitting in the train and people just stare like it makes me uncomfortable because like where should I look? Should I look out the window? Should I look at them? Should I talk to Alex? So yeah, it can be weird in Sweden in that sense.
Well, there's one thing about Sweden though, and that is that the stares, the awkward stares, most often comes from the older people.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, I don't know.
Maybe because
it's
back
because
in their time,
exactly,
it wasn't
just about
so
to say that.
common to see interracial couples.
Because when they were youths, I guess this wasn't as accepted as it is today. So I guess they just maybe they just have a different curiosity towards it.
And so one thing that really grinds my gears here in Jamaica is people thinks what our relationship is trendy, and also that there are other girls who think like I have made a good deal and like they'd be like, oh, can't you hook me up with one of them, like one of those white boys? Probably think whatever reason I'm in it for, they want to be a part of that also. So they ask me if I can help them with landing themselves a white boy. And it just makes you think of your boyfriend as an object. Like, why do they see him as an object? Like
That
a
is
thing,
true. That is true.
like a reward or something.
It's actually objectifying me in
Yeah,
that context.
it's a life reward for them.
So next thing that we're gonna go into is maybe not so unexpected, racism. This has a lot of different contexts for me that I feel like I want to share. I'm not going to talk about this now, I'm going to finish off with that in the video, but just the word racism is a bit of a funny word, but I'm not going to go into that now. I'm going to wait until the end of the video and explain why I really don't like the word. But for now, let's just talk about common racism, if you can call it common racism, that we can be affected of in our daily life. Because there's an interesting aspect to this, and actually the racism that we can face in Jamaica is very much different from the racism in Sweden, and this wasn't anything that I expected.
Neither did I.
When we met.
No.
Or I couldn't even imagine that the type of behavior that would hit us in Jamaica would be so different from the type of behavior in Sweden.
It's now that he has mentioned it, I'm just recapping like all the things that happened before, and it's just really sad. It's like I could go, just that in itself, I could do like an hour or two long video on just that. But for example, in Jamaica being...
Sorry, but you're right. There are so many
There's
events
so many
that just
things.
pops up in my
Sweden,
mind also
it's
now.
not so much. It's just like maybe one thing when it comes to racism. It's not like people like tell me to my face something racist. It's not like that. It's more Sweden's racism is more subtle, like
I will call
under the floor type of racism.
I will call the racism in Jamaica that affects us, I will call that more explicit. And the racism in Sweden, on the other hand, is more implicit.
Yeah.
So both, I'm not gonna say that neither one is better than the other.
No,
they are just
not
as
at
bad
all.
in different ways.
Yeah, I mean the only thing in Sweden that is more racist is probably like racial profiling. That is more what we speak about when we talk about racism. For example, if Alex and I would go into a store, it's like they don't really watch Alex. It's me that they watch. I always see someone like just a couple feet away from me, like all the time, or people just come from nowhere and act as if they're fixing something or replacing something, when really sometimes nothing needs to be fixed or replaced. They're just like watching
They're just
me.
being there to watch her too. I usually make jokes about if I were just to put on a suit with a briefcase and go to store after store after store, I would become a millionaire after that. And just steal stuff because no one would ever watch me. So anyhow, that's a big problem. That I don't even feel comfortable anymore going into stores with Kem Alex in Sweden, because people are just watching us, and I just become so frustrated and irritated, and it's not fun.
But
do you remember what we do sometimes? Sometimes we just try to make something fun out of the situation. So I tell Kem Alex, just go ahead, and we don't walk in next to each other. We just take two different ways.
yeah.
And it's so funny to see when the workers in the store, they follow Kem Alex. And then when I see that they walk close to her, I suddenly just appear and I give Kem Alex a kiss. And it's so funny to see the workers didn't expect it. And it's just so funny to see their reaction when so they're a couple, and she's
Okay, maybe she's a good
alright.
person.
Maybe
If
she's
she's
alright.
a white man, she's a good person.
Yeah.
I mean, if you would compare America's racism to any other country, Sweden's racism is basically non-existent.
Jamaica being explicit. I think you remember more what people can say to us out on the street.
Yeah.
But when we say that Jamaica has a more explicit racism, we mean it's more straightforward. It's
Very blunt.
straight to your
Very
face.
blunt.
Very
Whatever they
blunt.
think, they say it.
We hear stuff just walking on the street, buying our fruits and veggies for the supper. That's very, very old-fashioned.
Dinner.
For the dinner. And we get to hear a lot of shit. I'm gonna start with something very brutal. It doesn't happen every day, but I've definitely heard it. I've been in Jamaica for up to, in total, a year. Maybe I've heard between 10 and 20 times that I should be killed because I'm white and I'm coming here and taking their black girl,
or people calling me a sellout because I'm with a white man. I
Yeah,
hear that so
yeah.
often. I'm a sellout.
But most often what we hear, yes, people are actually saying that I should die. And but I'm just so used to it now. It sounds so weird. That would never happen in Sweden, for example. The young generation in Jamaica are frustrated, maybe, and I can understand that. They are being pimped by this Jamaican economy is being pimped by a certain system. You can call the system whatever you want to, but the fact is that this country is being pimped, and it's most often by European or American institutions. So I can understand the frustration in a certain way, but still it's not easy to walk on the street and hear stuff that I should die for whatever reason. Now I remember we were in Kingston one day, and I sat down at a bench.
That's the worst.
Both of us sat down on a bench, and he was actually a bit older. I think he was in his 50s or 60s.
He was in his 60s.
And he came, sat down next to me. What did he say? Did I say something first?
No,
or
he said something first because I don't think you saw him.
Yeah, he said basically just move, white man, so I can sit.
No, well, in rated words, yes. He said like, move your bumper clot for us, a white boy. Like,
Okay.
yeah, like chasing you away.
And he had dreads. Rasta dreads.
Which
so
was
that-
even worse.
That was clearly a fake Rasta though. But
Yeah.
so I just tried to be friendly. And I just said, is everything okay today, Rasta?
Mhm.
Everything is good? And then he said to me, if you open your mouth one more time, white boy, I'm gonna pull out my knife from my bag and stab you.
Yeah. It's really.
I actually went up from that bench
Of course, we had to.
and took my bombo flat ras ass somewhere else. But people aren't telling me to breed Kimalto in the streets in Sweden. They're not saying that Kimalto should die for coming and taking a white boy. So there you have the differences between Jamaica and Sweden in that sense.
Another thing for me here in Jamaica, because people know I'm in a relationship with Alex, who is a white man. Oh, yeah, fly. Who is a white man, they automatically...
Did you really put in a Swedish cuss word there?
So they think that I'm rich or I have money because people here attach white people to money. So they always be like, I don't know, like they always expect something from me because I'm with a white man and I travel and they know I'm traveling around with you also, like, so they think that okay, if she's together with him, then she must have some possession like that she can give.
Or
And-
I can give
or-
when I come here, but I swear I'm a student. My wallet
They never
is,
get that.
is thin.
They never
and
get that.
They don't understand. It is hard. I don't want to step on anyone's toe by saying this, but when I'm here in Jamaica, sadly, a lot of people can make me feel like an ATM. Literally an ATM sometimes. Just as what you're saying, Kimalto.
Yeah.
There's this weird image of if a Jamaican go abroad, when they return,
They're wealthy people.
yeah,
But as I mean, in the Jamaican community, we know like people who live abroad or travel. You get the idea when you in the situation yourself. You then realize that okay, nothing comes free when you're abroad. Like anything you want, you have to work with it. But the people here who never travel, they'll never understand that because of what TV shows them. Like, oh, it's all luxurious and this lifestyle, but they don't know that. I mean, it's so much easier in Jamaica. If you're hungry, you can just go out to a tree and pick a mango or pick some ackee or pick some breadfruit. But in Sweden or wherever other country you live, you can't do that. Everything you get. When we check our mailbox in Sweden, almost every week or month end, it's like bills. But it's not that in Jamaica. People can't even tea flight for free, or I get water for free. Connect to somebody pipe and then get water, like. But they never get that. If we tell them that Alex is a student or something, they probably feel like, okay, but maybe his parents are rich or they give him money or he has good savings or something, you know. But it's not like that. So that's one of the struggles that we get
yeah, that's
in
actually,
a interracial relationship.
that's a big struggle.
But I don't
Because-
feel like
yeah.
it's also just interracial relationship. It can be for anyone who travels abroad and come back to this
Definitely.
island. Yeah.
But as you're saying, I think just from my point of view also, it can be hard to just interact with people sometimes because maybe 50% of the times that I interact with someone new, it most often ends up with them
Begging at the end.
begging at the end, and it's
You don't know who is genuine or not.
yeah.
Yeah.
So as you say, that can be challenging, as Kimalto was saying. So I think I mentioned a couple minutes or in the beginning of this video that I wasn't too keen on the word racism, right? I also said that I wanted to sort it out in the end of the video without going too deep in it. So I think what I wanted to say is that today we talk about racism as if Kem Alex is one race and I am one race just because she's black and I'm white. That is very wrong. We are actually the same race, Homo sapiens. Back some thousands of years ago, there were more species of humans. Today we are only one race, and that race is sitting here. Whether you are black or white, it's still the same race. But it's just so important for me to at least just take the opportunity in this video to mention that how is it possible for racism to exist if there's only one race? We were more human races for many thousand years ago. We aren't today. It's just one race with some different skin colors. Still just one race. I just wanted to leave something to think about. We're the same race. Everyone is one.
A part of the human race.
Yes.
We're not really trying to touch on anyone's sores, but I mean, even though Alex can be a little bit political,
Too much for you sometimes?
it's too much sometimes, like he's a very political person. Yeah, but even though he can be political, I think it's definitely worth talking about, because I think it's crazy that people talk about racism as if we're all different races. Like, no, but it doesn't make sense. We're all human. There's one race, so I totally agree with what he's saying.
Okay, guys,
This is
it's
so
we've been sitting here for a while now. The sun is starting to set, and as you can see in our faces, I think we should wrap this up. What do you say?
Okay, yeah. So that is it for what it's like being in an interracial relationship. The cons. The cons.
The cons.
Just the cons.
Just the bad.
We'll do the pros in another video. Maybe that will be the next video. So make sure to turn on that post notification bell and subscribe. And we'll see you then. Bye.